the exact same way. He is that person, literally. Inside the home, outside the home, at church, at camp, anywhere he goes, he is that same guy. Lovable guy, friendly guy, always down to help somebody, just
dependable.
Yeah, very dependable.
He's also just a big teddy bear too. I think on the outside, he might look a little intimidating, like if you don't know who he is. But when you talk to him, he's, what do you need? How can I pray for you?
I would describe him as all that. I think for me, I'm biased too because I'm his son, but I think genuine is really how I would describe him, because I know that when he does or says something that he means it from the heart. It's not just for that moment or to placate you or to satisfy the moment. It's because he really feels that way.
He loves to have fun. He loves to laugh. Happy, and people were drawn to him because he was so happy. He was a great roommate, and he's a very loyal friend.
Karl Lynn has served at Camp Swamp for over 30 years. A tribute to those who serve tirelessly and selflessly, quietly serving out their love for Christ. Their stories remind us that service is more than just performing good deeds. It's a way to cultivate growth and leave a lasting legacy for generations to come.
Well, I was born in Dothan, Alabama, July 4th, 1956, at 525 East Bertishaw Street, my great-grandmother's house in her big old brass bed. That was how everything started. My father was in the Navy. At the age of 2, I think it was, we left Alabama and started traveling all around. My high school years were spent in Charlestown, Indiana. My college years were at University of Louisville and Waterson College in Louisville, Kentucky. And then I ended up getting married in 1989 to this lady. We started having children in 90 and moved from Louisville to Georgia in 91. And here we are. We've been here ever since.
I was born in Ohio, in Cleveland, in the suburbs of Cleveland. Lived there until I was in my mid-20s. I moved to Louisville, Kentucky to kind of start a new life. I met him very quickly after moving to Louisville and started studying the Bible and became a Christian. And then he quickly asked me out, and we started dating and got married. Our firstborn was born sick, so we needed a doctor that they really didn't have a specialist in that area. So they advised us to move to a larger city, and so we chose Atlanta. We had a great time with our girls, enjoyed our girls a ton, did a lot with them, played softball, ran around the country with them, or the surrounding states, I guess, in travel softball. So it was great to spend a lot of time with them and have them not be embarrassed of who we were. And we've always had a very open door policy at our house, lots of people in and out, and lived with us and spent a lot of time with us. And now we're both retired and enjoying life as retired people. I spend a lot of time with my 11-month-old grandson, which is fabulous. And that's what we do.
In Matthew 7:25, Jesus spoke of building a house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat that house. But it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. This metaphor illustrates the strength and durability of a life built on Christ's teachings, withstanding life's storms and providing shelter not only for one's own family, but for others as well.
Either way. Okay. We can both, you want to both answer? Sure.
I mean, it's probably going to be very similar.
Yeah. He is our dad, both of our dad.
Yeah.
Everywhere they go. Like, I remember going grocery shopping as kids, and I'd be like, I don't want to go.
Oh, yeah, because we're going to stop and talk to multiple people. We're going to
stop, and mom and dad are going to share their faith with the people in front of us, and we're going to be at Kroger for 2 hours. Like, that was just what we grew up with. Yeah. But now I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Like, they taught me how to love people. Well, and that's another thing about both of them is like, they don't complain. We never
They
knew.
just do it.
Anything, if there was ever a problem, we didn't know.
And so put together.
And so put together. How do they do that?
I don't know. Just watching them serve, even like letting people come and live with us from time to time. We've had multiple people live with us. I think that's like the ultimate way to give to somebody, giving them a place to stay, you know, giving them a roof over their head, making sure that they're fed, making sure that every need is literally met. And that is what our parents do.
I think both of our parents taught us what giving and serving really looks like, and not giving and serving to be praised for giving and serving, but giving and serving because that's what we're supposed to do. And then I also remember like back in the day when we would stand up like on the tables and sing during like lunch and breakfast, and you know, they worked in the kitchen, and so it was always fun watching them like pointing at us from the line of the kitchen,
the serving line,
just laughing at us. And then there's other times too. I remember when they were on their short, small break that they got in between cooking, they would come out and they would dance too and play games. And also the hugs were nice too. Sometimes you just want a hug from your mom or from your dad, and they were always there.
I think they make camp better.
Yeah.
Some kids would probably not say that, but looking back and knowing what I know now, like those are good memories to have, like your parents always being there, like not even just camp, everything that we've ever done. Both of our parents have always shown up to everything.
So even when it wasn't Camp Swamp, when they had no AC, like no walls, no roof, I don't even know. I think they saw the vision and they were just like, how can we help? Especially when camp really got started, how much God was present and how much the Spirit moved and how much it impacts kids to be there. I mean, I learned about God from my parents, but I saw God at the swamp. And that was where I had my first real, like, personal relationship, or even started really thinking I wanted a relationship, was at the swamp.
They love to see us interact with other kids, talking about God and, you know, building relationships. And, you know, because I feel like friendship is very important for my parents. And I feel like they really just wanted to be there to watch us build relationships. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy to watch your kids build relationships with people. Even us as sisters build a better bond or, you know, better relationship. I think that it does something to parents to see their kids, you know, stepping out on their own and seeing personality of their children come out, and they were actually able to see all of that. I feel like they really instilled that be a servant. Have a servant's heart.
I think you learned that from them
present.
too.
Yeah. I mean, they were very present with many people. They're still that way. Mom, I mean, they're both retired and they're busier now than they were when they were working.
I'm like, aren't you guys supposed to be sleeping in or something? But no, they're both still up at like 5 or 6. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I had a call. Had to call my friend.
Yeah.
Promised to pray with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, go to sleep.
Yeah. So I think, and I think we both have the giver's heart, giver spirit. We always want to do for others before we do for ourselves. And you know, sometimes that can be tiring, but there's always tomorrow. We'll sleep it off.
We see someone in need.
We give.
We give. If someone asks us to give, we
give.
I think it's just, it became
a part of our blood.
Yeah, just part of our blood.
The 42 years I've known him, he's always genuine, you know, which I appreciate, because being a son, sometimes that's critique, you know, sometimes it's discipline, sometimes it's advice, and sometimes it's a pat on the back, but whatever it is, I know what, if he's saying it, he means it, and, you know, I always appreciate that. Well, now, I've never been to camp, however, my daughters have, and from my experience is just seeing the change in them from the days when you take them in and maybe they're a little apprehensive. Once she went, feeling a little uneasy going in, when she came out of it, I saw her attitude change for the better. She made friends that she still keeps in contact with today, and she asked us not just to go back, but I want to go twice next year, you know. So seeing the shift from I don't know anybody, I've never been here before, why are you making me do this, to, oh my goodness, that was amazing, I want to do it again, let me make sure I saved all these phone numbers because I want to keep in touch, was huge. And then when you pick them up and seeing how happy they are and how much of a good time they've had, and seeing them in the pictures just smiling, and them wanting to go back, immediately, that's what I saw. I think for me, I'm biased too because I'm his son, but I think genuine is really how I would describe him, because I know that when he does or says something that he means it from the heart. It's not just for that moment or to placate you or to satisfy the moment. It's because he really feels that way. So, because he did more than just the camps, he would go in the off season and clean up and drive bobcats around and clear brush and stuff like that. So he didn't always just go during camp season too. He's when it's not camp. And for me, it just shows the value of not just supporting something, but making sure that something's around for the next generation to enjoy. So like, I know for him, camp was so much a part of his children's lives and his grandchildren's lives now, that it's seeing him tend to that, as you would like tend to a garden like that, to make sure that it's there for the next that's probably what's impacted me the most, that it's not just about satisfying yourself and your children and your grandchildren, but doing things to make sure that this will be there for other kids and other parents and other children as well. So yeah, other than Louisville winning football games, I think he likes seeing other people smile. I think he likes, knowing that he's left a legacy that's good, that some of his better qualities are being passed down to his children and grandchildren. I think that brings him joy. I have a son who's 21 now, so his life decisions are becoming more adult, paying bills, getting a job, managing a relationship, taking care of a car. And so having my father to kind of talk to about those things, and my sisters too, I think that would be more the things that bring my dad joy, is just seeing that the values he has are being passed down. And it's not just my dad was a good guy and we all should aspire to be like him, but it's like, no, he was a good guy who showed everyone else how to be as well. So I think that brings him joy. What the word unconditional really means, because I've never seen him do anything with the aspiration of getting much back other than maybe a smile or a thank you, maybe. Generosity that's genuine and doesn't have expectations behind it, that would be the one that probably stands out the most. And we went up to Louisville, 8 or 9 months ago together, just to see a friend of his that had a stroke, was in the hospital recovering from the stroke. We went up there, got him lunch, got to see him, spend time with him, watched him working through physical therapy and rehab. Like, that's the kind of guy he is. He'll get in his car and drive 8 hours to just let you know, like, hey, I'm here. And I know you're going through a lot, but we're here with you. That was it. That was the trip. There was nothing else. We weren't up there to do anything except support his friend who was going through a hard time health-wise, and he's doing better now. But that's who he is. Like, he's dependable. He's reliable. He will show up. You can be good for a day, but being good for years is hard. You can be generous for a day or a month, but being generous for years is hard. But the results of the long-term version of it are so much more rewarding than a quick fix of, I helped the poor guy down the street on Tuesday, so we're good. Like, no, he helps the poor guy down the street on Thursday and Friday too, and last month and next year. And so I think just seeing that it's an inherent personality trait of who he is, and not just something he did on the weekend or something it's summertime, I'll check the camp out. Like, he was there in January, clearing brush. Been a real lifestyle for him, not just something that he dipped his toes into to see what it's like, And it shows. If you see a circle of people, it shows that he's been that person for them for a long time.
We moved to Atlanta in 1980, and it had been on our heart to do a camp. And we were in a staff meeting with Stephen Kimsap, and Carolyn mentioned to Kim that we would like to do a camp for a week or two. And after that day, we were given the green light to go find a place. And just several months later, we had our first camp up in Cloudland, Georgia. That was the forerunner of the swamp. Then 7 years later, the camp was built. And we began at Penfield, where we are now. The next year, our good friend Karl Lynn came to help cook. Mm-hmm. And he also did as I remember, he did a lip sync with Would Jesus Wear a Rolex by Ray Stevens. And we would have lip syncs every Friday night. But that's where we'd known Carl for a long time, but that's where he'd moved here and he came to work.
One of my favorite memories of Karl and Donna is when they got married. Sonny married them, but I convinced Karl that he needed to sing to his wife as she came down the aisle. And he fought me on it. And
he did.
I just said, Karl, you're going to do this.
Yes, you did.
And he did. And it was beautiful.
Dining hall was not air conditioned. It would get to be 100 degrees in there, and we're trying to eat, and they're trying to cook in the back. And so they're trying to cook and feed us. And, Karl and the others never complained. They were so willing to do what they needed to. We all went out and played together. We played with the kids. We played softball, and so we all played together and had, great time.
It's really amazing all the hours that people have given tirelessly to camp. When we first started, it was not a glamorous place to come. I mean, we had a men's bathroom, a women's bathroom, and they were in the cabins. We stayed in a little cabin as well as the other volunteers. There was a bed and a light bulb, and that was it. It was a very, very servant mindset. They built great relationships with the campers. I mean, you'd see them out playing games with the kids. They loved to play board games. They'd have great talks. I know that they impacted the lives of so many campers through their talks too.
Karl and I volunteered together. That's when I first, so way before we were thinking of working for camp, I would volunteer in the kitchen. And Karl and I volunteered together. And he was there with his wife, and they were in charge, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I appreciated that I, as a amateur cook,
rookie
could
kitchen worker,
to this role and volunteer and serve, and had just great leadership. And Karl and Donna were two of those people. That's how I met them originally, was through volunteering with camp. And now that we're in this different role where we've, been with Karl, but we've been there more full time, and he's come and served a week or two with us, understanding more and more how important volunteers are for us to be able to make this work, for our kids to feel so loved. I think the volunteers also get some amazing fellowship.
I was dubious, okay, because I had a very limited way, like I can serve in this way, but then my wife would say, sweetie pie, you should, take a week off work and come work in the kitchen. I said, that doesn't sound like a vacation to me. It does not sound refreshing and rejuvenating to me. She goes, oh, no, it will be. And I'm like, will it though? I had to experience it in order to be a believer. My skepticism was unfounded, and God does bless that effort to come and to give time. It's so much joy and encouragement, being together, serving, working together.
Well, and I think about the faithfulness of Karl and Donna Lynn over the years. From the very beginning. There are few volunteers who can state that claim that they have been there since the beginning and faithfully served in a way that they may not realize the impact of it, but just their presence, their willingness kind of rubs off on the people around you. And it means so much as the people who are trying to do a lot of other things to know that you've got faithful volunteers who want to be there and are willing and work hard and have such joyful hearts. And so I think that they are amazing examples. And so it's so fun to have their grandkids out there and other grandkids coming along, who will eventually be there. I appreciate the people who are taking a week off of work. I think that says a lot to our college students and to our campers that adults are investing in them. And I think Karl is a great example of that.
Well, there's a very short list of things that are essential for camp to happen. And volunteers is on that very short and essential list. It's a deal breaker if we don't have people that are able to, have that heart and desire to want to be there to be with the family in that capacity.
Yeah. I served in the kitchen this last weekend when we had the father-son, and I'm reminded of the opportunity it is to be in the kitchen and to serve.
What everybody comes to camp to do is to be different. When you come to camp as an adult, you come to serve. You know you're going to serve. If you're a nurse, if you're in the kitchen, if you're a counselor, you know that you're there to serve. When you serve, it makes your heart happy. And when you serve, you look at kids and you're so thankful for everything. And so I believe that people would ask me, you know, what's it like? I said, you just need to come because there's not anything we can tell you. We would have a devotional every morning. And it was great because we would discuss serving and having a good attitude, and people came to do that. And so it was a happy place because anytime people come to serve, it's a happy place.
It fostered relationships between all the churches in the Southeast and other places, just to see the unity that was built in the Southeast because of camp. Honestly, I'll be truthful, there were times that, you know, that I would question my faith. I mean, that's hard to say, but there were years that when I had difficult times in my life that camp was the thing that brought me through.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always be grateful for that. And I don't think I'm the only one that camp did that for.
Mm-hmm. I always felt sensitive about was I wanted to address the black and white issue. Mm-hmm. We never skirted around that issue. We talked about it. We talked about how we need to accept one another. And I could point to Karl and say, here is a man, you know, you got young men who are African American. You need to look at him and see what he is and who he is. Because I think that was important to have men of color and women of color to come out and volunteer. And we had nurses and kitchen workers, because we wanted to give, especially young African American men, some role models just to take a look at. And I always felt like that was important for us to address.
That's the heart that Karl has. He loves people deeply. And Karl's a great father. You know, he and Donna both are great parents, and I have raised some beautiful children, and I always respect him for that. You're the true heroes of camp. We couldn't have done it without you.
So I think that everybody works so hard just to see that, and then they come up and thank you for giving them the opportunity to work so hard. And I think that's how it ought to be, though. Yeah. That's what disciples do.
Working in the kitchen is a grueling undertaking, especially as you get older. Just, you know, being healthy enough to make it year after year after year.
Right.
And sometimes there's some years that work more than 1 week.
And the work itself is not hard. It's the standing on the concrete floors for the hours and hours that you stand and move around in there.
The pots and pans.
Yes.
The pots and pans are pretty heavy, and getting them in and out of the ovens, it's a big undertaking for whoever has that duty. It's not an easy chore. Not trying to discourage people from working in the kitchen, because we need kitchen help.
Yeah.
But the reality is there is some work to do in the kitchen, so you have to come ready.
I first heard about it when Karl and I were dating, and he went to Camp Woodmont. I was attracted to it because I thought this is such an opportunity to teach our kids about God in a real fun, loving way. We were very good friends with Sonny and Carolyn. You know, we spent a lot of time with them. They've helped us out in our marriage. We wanted to help them with their dream. That was very attractive to us, I think. We really were inspired by them and their love for their camp experiences as kids.
Every Thursday at camp, they have something called Ring of Honor. All the girls would get together, they would share, and all the boys would get together, they would share. On Sunday, when they first get there, you know, kids are, you know, you have some kids crying, you know, they don't want to be there, that kind of thing. But then by Thursday, the kids are sharing about who has been most impactful in their life this week. You know, they're crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's just so moving to see the transformation from day one to Thursday
Mhm.
And all these kids are sharing about one another, how this kid did, how Johnny, when nobody else would talk to me, he came up to me and talked to me, and now we're good friends, and I mean, it's just amazing what they share about each other.
Mhm.
We knew what Sonny and Carolyn's vision was. I knew where they wanted to take this camp. I knew that with God's help that they would get there.
Yeah. I mean, camp is a magical place. It's, things happen there that are amazing. Watching older kids really give of themselves to the younger kids, watching the kitchen workers' lives be impacted by one another. It's a chance to build relationships with other people that you don't know. And we've made lots of friends throughout the years working at camp and looking forward to coming back year after year and seeing different people. And when we were in it, I don't think we ever thought, oh man, this is so hard. This is so difficult. I never once thought that. Did you? No, we never thought that. There were, times when our kids, we encouraged them to work at the swamp, to take on whatever role they could take on. And there were times where we would go to camp for a week, bring them back, wash all their clothes, turn it around in less than 24 hours, and they had to be back at camp the next day. We wanted them to experience a great time getting to know God in a way that they would have never had the chance to do that otherwise.
Yeah, you get to know everything as a parent because you're there. They'll come tell you, "Oh, Mom, we just did this. It's so good." And they're chatterboxes when you're there. It's hard for them to go back and recap at the end if you're coming to pick them up on Saturday and then you're saying, "Well, how was your week?" Well, they're dead tired. I mean, they're like trying to get all the stuff out at that time is virtually impossible.
Mm-hmm. We continued to go even after our kids didn't go any longer because it meant that much to us to be able to help these kids in the next generation experience what our kids experienced.
It was great getting to know different people. The hard part about it for me was there weren't as many men who volunteered. It was mostly women who volunteered for the kitchen. There were a couple of men sprinkled in from time to time. But regardless, I still was able to build friendships with everybody who came through the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great time doing it. But I would like to encourage more men to come and volunteer because the little boys need to have men role models. And it would be very helpful for the young boys to see other men there because some of these kids don't have that kind of interaction with male role models at home.
Counselors just gather around and the other girls, the other campers help each other. It's an opportunity for our kids to grow spiritually. They see opportunities to serve other people, to help other people, to be kind to other people. It's a no judgment zone. It's a place where you can go and be yourself and just be who they are. I love watching that part of it.
When God is the center, it makes it pretty easy to do the right thing, to do things that have the same attributes as Jesus. I try to be like Jesus. I don't always succeed, but I do my best to be like Jesus. We see kids get baptized at camp. And so to see kids go from not knowing God to wanting to make him Lord of their life and actually get baptized at camp, that's very rewarding.
And sometimes that's over, years. You watch somebody literally from 9 grow in their relationship with God over the years. And so that's pretty cool to be able to put all that together. Any adult who wants to experience camp, to just volunteer. If you have some kind of a special talent, maybe you're great at some art project or something like that. I mean, there's so many different ways that people can serve at camp. If you go and you just watch what happens there, it's just amazing.
Don't think so much about
Just
it. Do it. You'll be surprised what you see.
And
the fact that you're away from the city, You're away from all these
Oh my
distractions.
gosh.
You can clear your mind. It's just a wonderful place to be.
Like Karl, these dedicated servants embody this principle, constructing spiritual houses that stand firm against adversity. Their legacy extends beyond their immediate family, impacting local believers, non-believers, and even the global body of Christ. By living out their faith and passing on their values to future generations, they create a spiritual inheritance that outlives them.
As for North River Church, there are many opportunities to serve and volunteer in the local Atlanta area. Seeing volunteers like Karl make a difference paves the way for others to follow. That's why we invite you to join the many opportunities around the world through the volunteer program with Swamp Corps.
Notice the quiet heroes of our faith, those who serve faithfully and give from the heart. Let them know you appreciate them and follow their lead.